Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Tribal Country 44, and we got a late night edition with Zero. And we is fin to get into Lucifer Morningstar, the architect, the archangel, and the leadership. How's it going, man?
What's up? It's going good.
All right. Yeah, man. I definitely want to get into like some of the break down some of these characters dealing with these gods and goddesses. And now we on to Lucifer Morningstar. You go ahead and break it down from the beginning. It's all you, man.
I first started with working with Lucifer via Mark Allen Smith, the Queen of Hell. The
Mm-hmm.
three top ones were Hecate, Lucifer, and Belial. Um, Lucifer actually told me that uh, that's a good combination because Hecate represents like the mind. Lucifer, being the light bearer, takes the torch from Hecate and works like the nervous system, and then takes that energy and that information to Belial, which represents the body. Um, but when I got out of that system of practice, I started working a little bit with Lucifer solo, and Lucifer can present himself as in many forms. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
him as a dragon. I've seen him as excuse me. I've seen him as a black guy with dreads. I've seen him as a little child. I've seen him as a female, a Valkyrie. Uh, so he can actually take on many forms. And I also believe that it may not, Lucifer may not be one being because Lucifer is a title. So
Just like
we may not be seeing the same entity. We may actually be seeing uh, many different entities when Lucifer presents themselves.
mm-hmm. Just like God is a title too as well. And a lot of breakdown information about that too as well. But how did he possess this energy? And can you go from a Bible standpoint and from your standpoint of the how you receive the information, how it came from the Bible and how it got twisted fundamentally, and how they edit out some of the stuff because a lot of people not really tapped into the energy. So you really pretty much tapped into the energy. So a lot of people will understand from your perspective.
Well, I don't believe that Lucifer is the devil. In the Bible, it just talks about how the morning star, fell. And there are certain people who believe that that was a reference to a king. A king. Man, it's wrong my throat. Um, I don't think that Lucifer is evil because he's never presented himself.
Mhm.
Lucifer is associated with the planet Venus, and that's the morning star. And as we know, as many people know, Venus is associated with love. Now, if that's
Mhm.
associated with love, how can that be evil?
Mhm. Yeah, because the astrology presented Venus that way as the love energy planet that move in and out of these alignments with this Earth and the ley lines and stuff like that. How everything is energy presented to different situations of the month. And also I wanted to know about the Lucifer standpoint, for a human standpoint.
Well, if you take Lucifer as an archetype and you work with that energy, Lucifer represents balance. He's known as the dark light. He's associated with the black flame, and the black flame is really the power within us. When that
Mhm.
awakens, we become basically a mixture of heaven and hell, balance. Um, a lot of people can do this by going through shadow work and then working with the light, which is, I work with both hands, so I do both.
Mhm.
I've worked with demonic energies as well as the angelic frequencies as well. And Lucifer is also about just gaining knowledge. And when you gain knowledge and you raise your frequency and you spiritually evolve and you start to teach people, you become a light bringer. And then you become, in a sense, Lucifer.
Mhm. Mhm. A lot of these Gnostics had rewrit a lot of this information from the Christian Bibles. So a lot of this information got interpreted a whole totally different way. So the way that we was taught in the Bible about the energy that we received from the Bible, such as the texts and the information that was presented front of us, it got pretty much like edited where we couldn't understand it. We was scared of to look, but look outside the window, look outside ourselves, and look outside the information. But a lot of us don't intend to look for the information because they look for this book and that's just it. But that book have a lot of counterparts, a lot of different books, and such as the Bible has so many books that presented so many ways, but a lot of these books got washed. A lot of information got washed. So when someone pick up the information, they tend to see it as uh, it's a good thing. But somebody on the outside looking in, they're gonna see Lucifer as the bad energy, and they're gonna see this energy on the left hand side and the right hand side is pretty much different from each other, and they don't tend to look at each other, and they people don't assume to like go further than the information that is presented in front of them because they really don't truly do not know until you tap into this energy. So the history was presented wrong. Um, that's correct. The history behind the Gnostics, this the whole era, the whole issues, how the Bible got condensed down, and they took out some pages and stuff like that. Where do Lucifer fit in with the people of knowing the true standpoint? Because it's gonna take somebody to actually sit down and actually tap in.
Well, I believe if we take Lucifer as an archetype and then we compare different gods to this archetype, like you can go to Prometheus. Now, Prometheus was a titan that brought fire, which is knowledge, to human beings because he felt sorry for human beings, and the gods wanted to hoard that knowledge, and he was punished for it. So, in the same sense, Lucifer has that same story going on where, he, she, it, whatever you want to call that entity, um, is all about bringing knowledge, uh, and he gets condemned for it.
Okay, who had condemned him? Was it the people? Was it the gods, or was it dealing with ego?
Well, it's definitely not the gods because they all really know the truth. And a lot of people really don't go to source. They don't get to know these gods. They don't get to be in touch with them. And so they don't learn the truth. I believe that, from a biblical standpoint, the current Bible that we have is put together due to political agendas. And so everything but that narrative that helps people in power fulfill that agenda is going to be demonized, vilified. So anything outside of the Christian pantheon is going to be seen as evil.
What is the point from a Christian standpoint? Why did he fall, or did he fall?
Well, some say because of pride. They say that Lucifer wanted to be um, better than God, wanted to be God himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so he rebelled against God and he got thrown down to earth with the angels that sided with him.
Mm-hmm. On both standpoints, a lot of people don't know about, he's like the I don't know what his rank is between the two, like the archangels, between the daemons, because he's over, I think he's over both. Is I'm correct?
Uh, it depends on where you come from. Like he is seen as a ruler of hell, but there's also some people who are saying like he's different faces. Some may say that he's like a different aspect of Michael. Some may also say that he's a different aspect of Samael. I've heard both.
Yeah, I could have, I've been hearing something similar like that with the Metatron. Um, I've been hearing like the information like he's similar to Metatron and Michael. I don't know if that, if you heard it that way.
Well, Lucifer and Michael are sometimes seen as twins. And in a lot of beliefs, if there are twins, those are really different aspects of the same entity. And the funny thing is that if you watch Lucifer, the show, in the show, Michael and Lucifer are twins. And
Mm-hmm.
that's uh, pretty much through my gnosis, how they were presented to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is the main focus for him to receive, to come back into the power again, of him ascending from Earth? What is purpose of him being here?
The purpose of him being here is to educate humanity. Um, you know, the gnosis that came to me is the reason why angels fall is because of love. There are people down here who need to be educated, and the angels want people to spiritually evolve. And sometimes the only way that they can help humanity evolve is to come down to their level and understand them so that they can teach them as efficiently as possible.
Mm, that do make sense though. But some people just saw him as a dark figure, but with all the programming with the movies, Lucifer, the series, and other different programs of horror movies throughout the ages, downplay him for so long. They downplay him for so long, and a lot of people did not know the the kind and the most loving part about him. They really don't know about that part. They don't really know about the side of him being a teacher to humanity. They do not know about him helping humanity to ascend to another platform. Uh, what is the dialogue from that?
When it comes to Lucifer, Lucifer loves to see people enjoying themselves. Um, he loves to see people partying and not necessarily in like a debaucherous way, just enjoying life. And but like it's he can be a prankster, and
Mhm.
sometimes he may come off as a trickster, but tricksters are often the best teachers. But when it's time to teach, he can be very serious. There was one
Mhm.
time I was about to do a ritual, and Lucifer came in and said, "No, you're not ready for this." He was telling me that my emotions weren't in check at that moment, so I needed to get them under control.
Mhm.
Um, so he's also very protective. He's been very protective of me. Like when I was going through the cliphotic tree and in hell, so to speak, You know how they say never to eat or drink anything in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I almost made that mistake where I was about to drink something and Lucifer was with me in child mode, and I couldn't swallow the water, and and he was keeping me from swallowing the water. Uh,
Is it somehow is it tainted energy that comes from there, or is just the energy too much for you to bear?
uh, what you mean, like when you eat something or drink something in hell?
When you're in the astral.
I believe doing that will actually anchor you to that plane, and that's why you don't
Oh,
want to partake of anything
yeah.
when you're there.
Kind of like holds it to your will.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. As far as like humanity, why do the so-called elites use the Lucifer energy for the wrong things, and why is they using it for the wrong thing? I mean, you got children that have been sacrificed in the name of Lucifer. You have people that have been sacrificed in the name of his name as well.
Well, light is very powerful. We as human beings fear the darkness, and we feel that the light exposes a lot of things. And so we equate light with goodness. And that's why the elites, that's why my theory is that's one reason why the elites use the Luciferian current in order to control things. Light is also about creation. When you have, like, everything that we see is a contrast between light and darkness. It's a mixture, and that's what creates our perception. So by being able to control light, you are able to control what people perceive.
Mm. As far as like the energy that's being chaos, um, does that mean some of the people, even children, could be his children?
Oh, absolutely. Um, because we are beings of light ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we are composed of that Luciferic energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I saw that too as well because a lot of people do not understand, the source from the archetype, such as self being one with the gods, because a lot of the so-called DNA and the human evolution is tied to a lot of different gods and goddesses, and they tend to watch over us throughout life as the watchers watch over us. The road to the ascension is really not perfect. uh it definitely is a road, just like taking trying to get the Oz, trying to get the Emerald City. um as far as like somebody trying to elevate and understand the energies, what one must do to understand the Lucifer energy. I'm not saying they should rush, or I feel like they should do a lot of research. Not only that, do a lot of shadow work as well. Um, have one with self, and maybe does the altar help as well?
Well, with me in my practice, I don't really use an altar. Uh, People who are just starting out may need an altar to help them focus
Mm-hmm.
and set the environment so that they are ready to receive those energies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forgot what else I was going to say, but an altar really isn't necessary.
Now
Light is all
let's
around us. So,
okay.
if we understand Lucifer, like you said, the research.
Mm-hmm.
Research is important. Gnosis is important. You have to establish a relationship with that particular being in order to understand how they move, like why they do things. And then you come to a deeper appreciation of them, and that deepens your connection with them.
What is his connection with the Egyptian pantheons?
I would say that Lucifer is probably Horus in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that Horus is at the bottom of the Kemetic tree of life. From what I'm learning, and in the Kemetic tree of life, it's all about ascending to the rank of Ra.
Mm-hmm.
So Horus is a light being, um, and Ra is the higher light being. So Horus is down on the bottom, and he can be seen almost as fallen because he's at the level that we are. And
Mm-hmm.
his whole goal is to rise.
Mm. Okay. As the connection with the Egyptian and pantheons, and what is the Lucifer energy as far as like within a human perspective, such as the Christ conscious? What is the connection in between the two? Is it different from the other energy, or is it a dark matter energy, or is it a chaos energy within the light? Is it just both the same?
Well, from what I was told by Lilith, Christ and Lucifer are the same. Um, when I contacted Yeshua to understand like the Christ energy, it's a balance. He was a balance of both dark and light, just like Lucifer. There's a lot of similarities, and he can be he can come off as a trickster as well. Um, and you really have to get to know him to understand why he does things as well. So, um, a lot of people are saying that Jesus was an incarnation of Lucifer. So Lucifer is kind of like a pure form of Jesus, like not having the body.
Mm-hmm. So how do Lucifer feel about the energy that's being used from him? Do he, for like somebody in the outside, at least that's just using it for the this unknown, that's using it for whatever, you know, all the dark aspects of
Lucifer,
like Hollywood.
well, it depends on what you're using the Luciferic energy for. Like sometimes he's a little bit forgiving, like if it's something minor, um, he may not mind. But when it comes to things like harming children or using people, he really doesn't like that. He
Mm,
also hates liars, so he's not down with that.
I want everybody to hear that one more time. The He do not like using his energy for children whatsoever.
No, in
Okay.
fact, recently he came through along with Michael, where they were both very pissed about
Hmm.
how children are being abused.
Right now, around the world.
Right.
That's dealing with the trafficking worldwide, and dealing with these children that's being sold as slaves, and they still doing it. And it's like a cover up, and it's so much out there, but they don't want to put it out just yet. But it should be put it out because everybody should know.
Absolutely. But, like you said before, a lot of people are scared to tap into that energy because they don't understand and they've been left in the dark.
Okay, this is the big question. What is the difference between Satan and Lucifer? What is the difference?
Well,
Are these two different beings?
yes and no. Satan is just a title that means adversary. Anybody can
Adversary?
be an adversary. Like you can
Okay.
be an adversary of the church. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the church can be an adversary to you. It Satan represents rebelliousness. So in a certain way, if you look at Lucifer as in bringing knowledge from the gods to humanity, Lucifer can be a Satan, but he is not the Satan, and he's not satanic in a sense. Like Satan has a negative context, but
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer, when applied correctly, is not satanic, not negative.
Okay. So once he uh is it to the point where he's about to um is it some kind of like contract does he have with Earth where he has so many years and then he's free, or is it because I've been like I seen a verse in the Bible like that. I'm not sure is it pertaining to the same situation. Like it after so many years he become free from his shackles, right? And I want to just understand that part right there.
Uh, as far as I know, he's not really shackled to anything except for the fact that he cares deeply about humanity.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to call humanity his ball and chain, then I'd say go for it.
Oh. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's dealing with the liberation of the people.
Right.
Hmm. That do make kind of sense, man. A lot of sense. And furthermore, that's a lot of miseducation out there towards the Lucifer energy. And a lot of cults have started using his name as a cult society. As in, Lucifer, a cult, such and such, they're using them titles. But the bottom line is that the energy is really used for the good, and people still but the people misinterpret the energy, and the bad use it for the just use it for out of spite, what I'm saying, to do stuff, mind control, using it to for children, using it for blood sacrifice and stuff like that. um Humanity's been it came a long ways, and I really think people are ready for the next evolution. I really think people, in my perspective, ready for the next evolution, because we've been tied down to a lot of this old stuff, been on repeat for a long time. So how do you feel about humanity stepping into the knowing?
I think that there are a lot of people who are awakening to the truth. They're starting to look into a lot of things, research a lot of things. The internet has helped a lot because information is, freely available to many. So not only that, but a lot of texts and documents that have been suppressed are also surfacing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how these things get out. I guess, like some people have, are undercover in the Vatican or or what. Um, so these documents are now available. Like you have the Apocrypha, which were the books of the Bible that were left out. You have the things like the Book of Essenes. You have a lot of information about past cultures and beliefs that include these archetypes, and people are looking into that because modern day Christianity often fails people because it keeps them at a certain spiritual intelligence. And after so much time of the repetitive information, people are ready for something new. They're ready to grow
Mm-hmm.
spiritually. And
Yeah.
because modern day religions, not just Christianity, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't fulfill people. They and so they go looking, and when they go looking, they finally get uh, the courage to see whether what they were told is right or wrong, and so they start going to the source.
Okay. What is his rulership in hell? Or so would it be in the Bible? What is his rulership?
Well, like modern day Christianity interprets Lucifer to be the devil, so
Mm-hmm.
therefore he would rule in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But from my perspective, it's kind of like, yeah, he has rank, he has high rank, um,
Oh,
but it's more like just an agreement, where they kind of work together because the both the angels. Okay, so let me put it this way: the angels do not see Lucifer as an enemy.
mm-hmm.
Uh, Angels as well as demons understand everybody's place in the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that narrative where heaven and hell are at war and Lucifer is leading the army against God and stuff like that, like that's cap.
Mm-hmm. So that's where the Gnostics came in and twisted up and kind of like made it look like it went that way.
I wouldn't say it's Gnostics because the Gnostics were about knowing.
Mm-hmm.
They were about studying everything. And there were, back when the Gnostics were around, when the movement first started, there were two types of Christians. Okay, so you had the Gnostics who were all about the truth, all about
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, all about seeking that knowledge. And then you had the forefathers of what led to the evolution of
Temple.
modern day Christianity. And so the forefathers of modern day Christianity did whatever they could to wipe out the Gnostics. And
Uh,
so because they became more popular, they were the ones that set the narrative.
from what I'm hearing, that the Pope have a lot of information pertaining to Lucifer, some books as well that's hidden in the vault that the world has never even seen yet. So that's a lot of information that's still been classified from the public.
Oh, absolutely. They took a lot from different cultures. They hoard it, and it's we're lucky to have the information that we do. But like, even though we don't have those books, the best way that we can find the truth is just to tap into source. If you talk to
Mm-hmm.
the actual being will tell you the things that are in those libraries.
Mm-hmm. Like I was telling everybody have a built-in library. It's just the fact of you taking the time out to tap in and do the work. Do the work for yourself, as in like solidify, as in to humble yourself. Eat, drink, grounding, uh, educating yourself on a lot of this information, because it actually opens the doorway for a lot of doors to be open within your mind that connects you to your ancestors. And your ancestors pass the information through your DNA, because your DNA holds all the keys to this vital information.
Well, not just research. I think that like meditation goes a long way because sometimes you'll just start receiving energies out of nowhere, start receiving
I
information,
noticed that. I
and
noticed
then
that.
like then you go start reading books, and then it'll start lining up. You'll find something in a book that matches up with your gnosis, or you'll find something on YouTube that matches up with your gnosis.
Hmm. Uh, uh, to some people need to understand what is hell, and from your perspective, as you've been visiting these hell realms, astral, traveling, and you have that gift to do that. Could you make people understand what you saw when you was there?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that hell where people believe souls are tortured,
Mm-hmm.
that's a mindset. Okay,
Cap,
right
cap,
now
cap.
on Earth, that fear and those negative thoughts are what keep people in a hell loop. And this was told to me by demons. Demons are talk about they torture themselves. We're not here to torture them. Um, but when you go to the so-called demonic dimensions that are described as hell, there's no torture there. There's actually communities where you have demons and fallen angels that are getting along peacefully, sharing. Um,
Mhm.
there are certain magicians that make it there, that are not there for good reasons, and hell doesn't want them there. They
Mm.
actually have police to kick them out because they don't want them corrupting hell like they're corrupting earth.
Wow. So how does it look for in your eyes? You was there. How did it look? Does it? It's like another altered Earth.
It depends on where you go. I've seen parts of hell that look like volcanic,
Mm-hmm.
like the inside of a volcano, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen parts of hell where you do have like twisted souls that just walk around, but there are
Mm-hmm.
no demons, tormenting them. There
Mm-hmm.
are places in hell which are what I call like the Detroit of hell, where you have these kind of primal wild spirits that just roam around. But then you have the more civilized areas where they're very technologically advanced. It looks just like Earth. There's sunlight and everything, and you have demons that look like people. They have families. They have communities. They live life similar
Like a
to
city.
how we do. There's also different levels of hell. There's
Mm-hmm.
surface levels of hell that uh, souls go to when they die, and I believe those souls don't even know that they're dead because they're
Mm-hmm.
going about different things. But you also have different beings that occupy that surface level of hell too. I've seen the Fae there. I've seen demons there. Like those supernatural beings can also other supernatural beings other than demons or fallen angels can also visit those hell realms. Hell is also split up into different kingdoms. Okay, so you've got Hades, which
Mm-hmm.
is by Hades, and there is a fog that surrounds that kingdom, and that's a fog that causes you to forget.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when you go there, if your will isn't strong enough, and if you don't have any spells in place to retain your memory, then you won't remember what you did there, what you went there for, anything pertaining to that, who you met.
Mm. That's a lot of vital information. Um, as far as like the cities, does the cities look just like skyscrapers here, or because I've been seeing because this dude named Ryan, he's a astro projector on YouTube, and then he said how the doors is like uh, like some kind of ancient doors that was like real tall and stuff, and they have bars. Like he said everybody there talk to telepathically and stuff like that. How there's jobs and stuff. Is that correct?
The way I perceive it, it's mostly suburbs, and yes,
Summer.
there are jobs. Um,
Yep.
yes, you have to earn your keep there. Like when you go there as a citizen, they assign you a job, and that's how you earn your citizenship, and you stay in hell, and you stay
Mm,
in the good graces with the people. Um,
mm,
the the great thing about like that, the communities that they have there is like the people treat you like they've known you forever, and maybe they have. But it's like you can walk into somebody's house and they'll act like you belong there. They'll sit down, they'll talk to you like it is what it is.
mm-hmm.
There's no like fear of theft or harm, murder, anything like that.
So there's people that put things in check there, like the police, so to speak. Um, I'm just trying to do it on a viewer standpoint because I don't want to say the big words and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So yeah, but as far as like the hell realms, okay, what is the difference between the heaven realms? Did you visit some of those realms? Is those different from the hell realms, or are they just like similar?
No, heaven is very different. Um, the areas that I've been to, um, the lower levels of heaven can be seen kind of like what Earth is. Uh, the lower levels of heaven, it's always daytime there. Um,
Mm,
but recently, I believe that the lower levels of heaven have been corrupted because
mm-hmm,
there are a lot of entities that are like zombies and they'll attack anything and try to assimilate anything that is different from them.
mm-hmm,
Um, it's a big place. So you do have angels in heaven, and you have areas that are full of soldiers. You know, they're kind of like bases where uh, these angels are keeping a constant vigilance. You have areas that have angels that have a hive mind, and they're actually both physically and mentally connected. Then you have different kinds of hives. So you have I've seen hives where it's just like many angels connected, and then I've also seen where you may have like angels connected in threes,
mm-hmm.
and they'll just be floating around. And in the area where the angels were connected in threes, it was just like looking at the sky, either at dusk or dawn. You know, it was I call them cotton candy colors. Like the whole background is just a mixture of blues and pinks and purples.
Mm-hmm.
So
The,
it's
this,
kind of like I would say where hell is kind of chill, heaven is
mm,
kind of it's it can be a scary place. It's beautiful, but it can also be like very intimidating because like these angels are huge, you know, and they don't look like human beings. You know, they the ones that I saw that were of a hive mind, like the ones floating around in threes, they had like diamond faces. They were like floating torsos. They didn't have
mm-hmm.
any legs. They were huge, and the angels that were in the bigger hives were like walls with faces coming out of them that were connected, and there was like this constant. It was kind of like electronic humming going on, and the walls were like very huge.
Mm,
Um, so you may have um, certain angels that take like humanoid form,
mm-hmm.
but the angels that are described that have many eyes. There are angels like that. I've seen those
Yeah,
angels.
I saw those. Mm-hmm.
There's also a level with cherubim, which are the
Mm-hmm.
angels that manifest as babies, and they actually do look like children, not just babies, but children of varying ages. Um, then you have the upper levels of hell of heaven. I'm sorry. If you read, I believe it's the Pistis Sophia. It talks about how the upper levels of heaven were cut off. You know, the Gnostics believed that Yaldabaoth took, I believe it was like the first 7 levels of heaven, and cut off the higher levels where Sophia was in charge of. And in those levels of heaven, It's more like the darkness of space. It's not daytime there.
Okay. As far as that, did any of your spirit team tell you what was going on with the heavens?
No, it was just me kind of like walking around. Like sometimes uh, when you get in close proximity to an angel, if they're not blocking their thoughts, you can telepathically connect to them and kind of hear what they're thinking. Um,
Mm.
but most of it was just like due to my perception, like with the zombies. Like I was walking around by myself. I don't know if there were any spirits that were protecting me that were present,
I know
but
you tell about that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just kind of coming upon those, understanding what they were, or kind of, sort of, um, and then kind of just reacting to it, and coming back and meditating on what that symbolizes.
Gotcha. I know it's a lot of people think heavens look like real cosmic, so to speak, like dark matter type of space. That's what a lot of people see as heavens, as this beautiful place. This it's just everything so vibrant. It's everything so calm. There's peace always. But when you visit, you see a lot of different things out of place. Uh, a lot of corruption maybe going on. Maybe. Is it something to do with Earth? I don't know.
I do believe that what's happening on Earth affects what's happening in heaven. If you go
I've
by
been hearing that. Yep, I've been hearing that too. Yep.
with hermetics, it talks about as above, so below. So I believe that there are a lot of magicians that are corrupted, and hold on a sec. There are a lot of magicians that are corrupted, and so they're trying to use heavenly energies in order to, um, for their ambitions. And so what they're doing down here affects heaven, which is another reason why the angels that haven't been corrupted or haven't been misused are upset.
Hmm. Like I've been hearing that too. It's something to do with Earth because the way the energy is going, like everything happen on this planet happens throughout the time, space, and other dimensions that affect with Earth. Because they also were saying how Earth is synced in with like 9 different dimensions as well, within inside itself. The realm of uh up and down, so below and so above. Everything happens here, have an effect, like you were saying. Is it something to do with the ego, or is it something with the people not tapping into their power? And that's why the balance so off.
Uh,
The original gods.
I think the ego of man leads to some of us becoming corrupted magicians. Um, and what they do down here ritualistically affects heaven. For example, the abuse of children. Well, that affects the realm of the cherubim. And
Mm-hmm.
so the angels don't like it when you mess with their own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason why, like Michael is pissed off about the abuse of the children, because
Yeah.
children are the purest forms. They're closer to godhood than adults are, because they're innocent, and they're pure, and they have that mentality where they have a logic and a reasoning that is pure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's that's why like children are a no-no. Messing with children are a
Mm-hmm.
no is a no-no.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, man. Well, a lot of people in the higher is about to find out how real this energy is going to be once Michael and Lucifer get their hands on these so-called people that's been abusing this energy. As far as like the Lucifer energy, what is the this internet craze was going on about selling souls? We got musicians, we got different people selling their soul for riches and fame. All right. Is this really get rid of the soul, or is this just getting rid of the person from being here on this plane?
Selling the soul is not possible. First of all,
Been trying
it's
to tell
not really
them.
yours to sell. Two, when you sell your soul, it's really putting yourself in a certain mentality. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you make yourself think that you are a slave to a certain entity or a certain organization, whomever. And you're saying that you're willing to do anything that this entity tells you to. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, when people do this, they're listening to representatives of these entities um, who are telling them what to do. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, if you are selling your soul to a certain entity, you're really saying, okay, this is the part of my psyche that I want to manifest most within my life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for instance, if you sell your soul to Belial, Belial is an earthly spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So your life is going to be focused on the mundane. It's going to be focused on uh, conquering earth, so to speak. So, like getting money, um, getting material things, um, getting women or men, you're going to be focused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, selling your soul is a negative thing because if you're so focused on that, you become spiritually imbalanced. And
Mm-hmm.
so, people who do that end up ruining their lives because they're not focusing on other aspects of their spirituality.
Is these contracts in blood, or is it a karmic debt that have to be paid for these?
Well, the karmic debt is the pain that you go through within life, from the imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like people have different ways of selling their soul. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
sign your name in blood, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, like you can go through weird rituals, whatever.
So that don't have no effect on your karma.
Well, like I said before, um, karma is just cause and effect.
Cause and
Okay.
effect. Okay.
So if
Okay.
you do something, like you're going to have an equal and opposite reaction.
Gotcha.
So if you're doing something, negative and putting it out into the universe, well, then you're going to get negativity back.
Definitely. Oh man, I love this talks right here, man. Definitely. We're finna about to get ready to wrap it up with the Lucifer energy, man. A lot of people really need to know about Lucifer. You have any messages out there for Lucifer, even to deliver right now, to let people know what it is?
Um, just protect the children. Like that's the last thing when I
Where him and Michael
yeah
was, yeah.
yeah just protect the children. Be aware, like understand, like they're a future. They have intuition and insight that we don't have access to because we've been corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up and having to live longer exposed to this corrupt narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we just like Lucifer is also about unity. Like we got to take care of each other. You know, we got to love each other.
Definitely, man. I was hearing about the trees. I remember you were saying something about the trees. Then I heard somebody else was channeling Raw was talking about the trees as well.
Oh yeah, definitely protect the trees.
Protect the trees.
Trees represent the feminine divine.
Mm-hmm.
If you study Egyptian, the Egyptian gods, like Nut is the goddess of the tree, and you know the tree also represents the connection between earth and heaven. So, you know, we like trees are life. Like they give us our oxygen, they give us our food, they give us our shade. You know, and it just seems like these corporations are intent to cut down all these forests, you know, make everything out of concrete and build these, you know, these skyscrapers and stuff like that. And it's killing us. It's killing us, and it's hurting the earth. So yeah, we got to make sure to preserve our nature.
Yeah. Nature's one biggest issue that they are trying to rearrange some of her trees and environments and sea life and a lot of different things, and that's why Mother Nature is so unbalanced right now. The way these chemically unbalanced right now, how these energies are flowing at this time, and not only that, the Earth is actually spinning counterclockwise, and we are losing 15 seconds every other month. It's like a second off or something like that. If you haven't been paying attention to the time, you can actually see the time is actually we lost time.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I was paying attention to it. A lot of people was elaborating on time. Definitely, man. This is your boy zEnergy God, and this is Zero right here. Any more? I mean, you want to leave anything? Let them know about your book, um, the Grimoire book that you got.
Absolutely. This is my book here. I don't know if it's oh well, the background's messing up. So it's called Grimoire of Damnation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about, you know, it's a left hand path book, even though I work with both hands now.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically like a spell book that pertain to my journey
Mm-hmm.
with the dark entities, but it helps you to prepare your mind for receiving these energies and learning and growing, spiritually evolving by utilizing these energies, and then eventually going through your abyssal journey. Um, and Lilith actually helped me write this. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Hecate came through a lot in order to give me different spells, in order to aid in the assistance of evolution. So, if you're interested in the left hand path and working with left hand path,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, spirits, I would definitely recommend picking up the book. It's on my website, which is it's on Square, but it's Divine Umbra Publishing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's $25 plus $5 for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So most people charge an arm and a leg for grimoires. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to make the information available to those people who don't have deep pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Is it
definitely
is
go
this
and pick that up.
is this gonna be on Amazon later on or any other sites later on, or just you're gonna just keep it?
No, I self-publish.
Okay.
I don't want to give any of them any of my money for
I
my
kind of
hard
figured
work.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of saw that because a lot of companies like want to take a couple little cents off of you.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I'm interested in reading that book right there, man. And much love to Lilith and Lucifer and all the ancestors that presented energy to us. May love bless them the same way they try to bless and wake us up every day. Definitely, man. Gratitude to you, Zero. All right, yo. Much
Thank you.
love to you, man. I thank you, man, for the information and knowledge, man. Love to have you on here for more, man.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
All right, man. Peace. This is Z, and this is Tribal Country, and we out of here. Yo.